All right, so the college football playoff is literally right around the corner, and normally this type of thing creeps up on me and scares me, but I'm prepared this time. So today I'm gonna be giving y'all my previews and predictions for the two semifinal games, the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. And honestly, I think we're in for a really, really good day of college football. One that's on par with the type of day that we saw last year. Because if you don't forget, last year, that Michigan TCU game, amazing. That Georgia Ohio State game, amazing. Probably two of the best games I ever watched. Even though one of those ended up with me crying to ring in the new year. Like, if Marvin Harrison doesn't get hurt, Ohio State wins the national championship, in my opinion. Just in my humble opinion. I ain't no time to live in the past. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about what's happening. And what's happening are these two really really good games of college football. Like these both teams, these aren't bad matchups. These are really good matchups with really quality teams facing each other. And like I'm really excited to see these games play out unfold. Both of these games were really toss ups, one more than the other, but they were both really hard to pick, and I can honestly see them going either way. I wouldn't be surprised if, kind of like my conference championship predictions, I strike out. My conference championship predictions, I think I only got like Michigan and Texas right. ACC I got wrong, SEC I got wrong, and Pac-12 I got wrong. Yeah, I was 2 for 5. That's kind of good, but not where I want it to be. You feel me? But hopefully I'm 50% with this pick. I need to get at least one of these right. But yeah, let's get into it. All right, since we're going in chronological order, we're going to start off with the game that's going to be leading off this New Year's Eve. Yeah, these games happen on New Year's Eve. And this is the Rose Bowl between number 4 Alabama and number 1 Michigan. And it's kind of crazy to think about this, but Nick Saban has been to a Rose Bowl more recently than Michigan. Because when I was thinking about this game and like talking over with myself and my dad, trying to decide who I think will win, I literally asked my dad, when was the last time Michigan was in the Rose Bowl? Because I never remember seeing them in the Rose Bowl. And he was like, it had to happen recently. I was like, no, because I would have remembered it. Because even though, like, apparently I'm supposed to hate Michigan because I'm a Ohio State fan, I have no hate or disdain. I just really hope we beat them every year. But it's like the thought of Michigan and Pasadena, those nice helmets, one of the best helmets in college football, having the sun shine on the helmet, glistening, and watching the sun goes down as Michigan is on the field, that's something I would remember and most definitely watch. And I looked it up. They've been playing the Rose Bowl since 2007. Nick Saban played in one in 2020, and I know that wasn't in Pasadena because California had very strict COVID restrictions, and so they had to play it in, I think, Arlington. Yeah, they had to play it in Jerry World. It had to be played in Jerry World, but still the Rose Bowl nonetheless. And he has a victory, more recent than Michigan. And this game should be a really, really good one. These are two teams that are very evenly matched. Both are playing really good as of late. I mean, Alabama completely turned their season around. When I remember I made a video earlier in the college football season saying, I don't know who's going to win it all. Mainly, I said that mainly because Alabama looked like a shell of itself, but now it's playing amazing football and came off knocking off the former number 1 seed Georgia just last week. Like, it's crazy. But in all honesty, this should be the year for Michigan, right? I mean, all the stars have kind of aligned in Michigan's favor. And if there's any year to make it to the national championship game, it's this one. I mean, first of all, you're the number 1 seed. Like, you're supposedly the best team. You're the favorite. The number 1 seed is the favorite. That's just how it is. And I mean, you had a very, very easy schedule, especially to start the year. And that's something you're not going to get anymore. With the way college football has been changing, it has changed. You're not going to have a year where you play UConn, UNLV, and East Carolina to start the year. Next year, you play Texas at the beginning of the year. Next year, in conference play, you probably play either Oregon or Washington, or maybe both. And maybe one of USC, UCLA. You already have to play Michigan State. You already have to play Penn State. And you always play Ohio State. So your schedule is not going to get easier. This is probably the last year for a while that they're going to have an easy schedule. Like something like that's not going to happen very often anymore. And you've been healthy all year compared to a lot of these other teams. You really don't have any crazy injuries. I know you did lose one of your best offensive linemen against Ohio State, but that clearly didn't affect y'all by the way that y'all scored a touchdown literally the next play running the football. So it's like it's just meant to be. And also, everybody else having a quote unquote down year. So it's like Michigan, this is your chance to make it to the national championship game. And for them to do that, this is going to have to be a JJ McCarthy game. Prove to me why you're NFL quarterback. Me personally, I don't think JJ McCarthy's an NFL quarterback, and he's definitely not a first round pick. I say that because me personally, when I look at quarterbacks, for you to be even a first round pick in my eyes, you have to show that you can elevate your team's play. You can win games. I remember when Cincinnati played Alabama a few years ago at this point. That's when Desmond Ritter was a quarterback. And I would tell my dad, I was like, we're going to see how good Desmond Ritter is. Because if you're as good as a quarterback as people think you are, you elevate your team in games like this. You give them a chance to win. Desmond Ritter in that game did not do so. He showed you exactly what he was going to do in the league, which is be sorry. And man, Desmond Ritter looks terrible. Now, I don't think J.J. McCarthy's as bad as Desmond Ritter, but I think he has to prove to me that he's an NFL quarterback. And this is the game. Alabama is really, really good at slowing down the run. They just did that last week against Georgia, basically stonewalling them at certain points. And they're gonna put the emphasis on JJ McCarthy win this game because Georgia is talented enough to get pressure with 4-3, not really send pressure, and just sit back and say, pick us apart. Show us what that arm can do, or show us what you can do with your legs. But they have the type of edge rushers that can keep JJ McCarthy in the pocket. So he's going to have to make some plays with his arm to win the game. I believe he can make a few, but I do not know if he can make enough or more than the guy sitting on the next sideline, which is Jalen Milroe. Me personally, in this game, I'm a pick Bama. I believe they can do everything Ohio State did, but better. Ohio State, while they didn't show the blueprint on how to beat Michigan, they showed how you can. Basically by stopping the run game, forcing J.J. McCarthy to make plays. And I'm not going to lie to you, he did make a few plays, but he didn't make a crazy, absurd amount. And also run the ball and just dominate time of possession. Ohio State did that, but they were unable to get the big play. Mainly because they didn't have the quarterback to do that. Kyle McCord is not a playmaker. He is a game manager. While Jalen Milroe is a game changer. He can make plays. He is a playmaker. And I believe that he will make more plays than J.J. McCarthy with his arm and with his legs. And also because that's what this Alabama offense is built to do. They're built for shot plays. They're built for play action, throwing it deep. A quarterback run here, shot play. Alabama, over the course of this year, has finally understood how to use Jalen Milroe, which is good because that is the best quarterback they have on this roster. And since then, they've been very dangerous. It's been the emotions. It's been the incorporating more quarterback runs. It's been making things a little bit more complex where it's hard to see what they're doing. And then I also believe this Alabama defense has what it takes to slow the run game down and force J.J. McCarthy to make plays. As I said before, I do not think J.J. McCarthy is as good as we want him to be. I feel like everybody wants J.J. McCarthy to be like a top 5 quarterback in college football, and I don't think he is that. I think he's a real good college football quarterback. Like, you can win with him, but how many times are you going to win because of him? And I think that will come to bite Michigan in this game. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan just proves me wrong and wins this game because Michigan is that good of a football team. I just feel like they're so evenly matched that the quarterback play is going to have a lot to do with who wins this game. And I think Jalen Milroe is by far the best quarterback on the field. He has shown me a lot of stuff. Like, especially when they finally understood how to use him and utilize his offense, they looked amazing. So, yeah, I got Alabama winning the Rose Bowl. Next up is the Sugar Bowl between number 3 Texas and number 2 Washington. And this is the game I flip-flopped back and forth on the most. It's funny. Most people would have you think that it's that Michigan-Alabama game, but I'm kind of very confident in Alabama to win that game. But this game, I don't know. Like, I just know this game, the offensive fireworks in this game will be amazing. And this is basically a road game for Washington. Considering it's the Sugar Bowl and how far it is from Washington and how close it is to Texas, like, the stadium's damn near going to be like 70-30 Texas. And I hope Washington is able to get people there because this is an experience of a lifetime. Not something that happens often, especially if you're a Washington Huskies fan. But I mean, Washington has 2 appearances in the CFP. Not too many people can say that about themselves or this team, especially the team that they are playing. And in a game like this, it's like hard to find edges because both these teams are so similar, especially when it comes to inexperience. Neither one of these teams had been here before. So it's like I don't really know where to lean. Like I feel like I had to dig deep into the stats to kind of give a concrete answer other than I just feel like this team is going to win. And part of me started leaning Washington based on the fact that they've pulled out games that they're not supposed to win. They have showed you that they can handle whatever you throw at him. They have a veteran quarterback who's damn near 30 years old at this point. I'm joking. He's like 25, but Michael Penix is an older quarterback. He's seen a lot of football. He played Big Ten football. Now he's in the Pac-12, dominating it. So like that's why I really almost went with Washington, and also given the fact that Washington is one of the most prolific offenses in college football, especially when it comes to running their receivers. I mean they have a top three that's better than a lot of people's top three in their conference. I mean Romeo Dubois, I can never say his name right, Jalen McMillan, and then Jaden Lee. I think I can't say his name right either, but I know exactly who that is. Those three are really good, and Texas's back end is not the best. They're not the best in the secondary, and I think Washington can really pick and poke and prod at them all game. But I do pick Texas, mainly because of this reason. One, defensively, in a game where it's a shootout, I look at which defense do I believe can make the big play, can get the stop, can get the turnover, can maybe even put points on the board. And that's Texas defense, mainly because this front seven is really, really good. And even though their back end isn't that good, I do believe that there's going to be times where they're going to be able to get back there to Michael Penix. They're going to be able to. This front seven is really good. Their linebackers are really good. They're led by a really, really good freshman linebacker. He's been playing out of this world. I didn't think he would be as good as he was, but he is balling. They had Tavondre Sweat in the middle, who has been playing amazing football and caught a touchdown pass last week against Oklahoma State. And I think they'll be able to come up with enough plays. I also think if we flip the sides of the ball, that Texas, if you look in the one game they lost to Oklahoma, they struggled in the red zone. They got down there a lot, but they weren't able to capitalize. And that happened to Texas a few other times this year. But then I looked into it. Washington does not have a good red zone defense. That's not going to help Washington out. And that was low-key the deciding edge. Because if Texas is able to capitalize on all their drives and Texas defense is also able to get 1 or 2 stops to stop Michael Penix from matching score to score, then I'm going to pick Texas. And also because Texas has a lot of weapons, and Steve Sarkisian knows how to get his weapons in the right place. I remember what he did to Ohio State when he was at Bama. Like he can scheme himself up an offense, and he's done that all year. Now, just because I picked Texas doesn't mean I wouldn't be surprised if Washington won. Because honestly, I picked Washington for so long. I low-key was picking Washington to win this whole thing. So it's kind of crazy that the day of, when I'm really looking at it, I flip. But that's mainly because Texas is really, really talented. I think in a game like that, them stars are gonna show. Them stars do matter. It's like it's been proven stars matter. Them 5-4 stars are gonna show why they 5 and 4 stars. And maybe some of the Washington players are going to show why they were 3 and 4 stars. Like, maybe. But I think this will be the best game. And me personally, this may be a wild take, but the winner of the Texas-Washington game, in my opinion, will win the whole thing. I personally think whoever wins this game, I like either one of them in a matchup against Michigan or Alabama. Considering Texas has gotten a lot better since they've beaten Bama. Even though Bama has gotten better, Texas has gotten better too. And Washington just be winning games, man. Washington knows what they're doing. They just got that. They got that it factor. But fuck that it factor. I'm gonna take Texas. But yeah, those are my predictions for the college football playoff semifinals. Like I hope I'm right. I hope I'm not as wrong as I was with the conference championship predictions, because people were on my ass. People were going back to my shorts saying, "You wrong." But I'm talking about sports. I'm gonna be wrong more than I am right. Shit, if I was right more than I was wrong, man, I'd be living good as ever right now. Let me tell you, I'd be betting on everything. But yeah, those are my college football playoff semifinals predictions. Please leave your predictions down in the comment section below. And just tell me what you think. Who's going to win? Why you disagree with me? Why you could possibly agree with me? And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Subscribe to Underachiever.
Peace.